This video is on linear functions and slope-intercept form. This is some review vocabulary and the different linear forms. Our first vocab is slope, which is called in linear functions. It is the constant rate of change between the vertical distance and the horizontal distance. This is change in y over change in x. It is a constant rate of change, so from one coordinate to any other coordinate on the entire line should be the exact same change in y over change in x as any other two coordinates. Linear function is any function whose graph is a line, so it is a function, so we're talking about the graph of it. Linear means it is a line. Linear equation is an equation in two variables of x and y, whereas the reason why it's linear is because the x has an exponent of just 1. If the exponent is larger than 1, it is no longer linear. So we have two variables of y and only x. Our next word is y-intercept. This is the point at which a non-vertical line crosses the y-axis. This is written as a coordinate. As always, it's when the x value is 0, so it's 0, a number. The y-intercept should always be stated as a coordinate. Okay. X-intercept is the point at which a non-horizontal line crosses the x-axis. With linear functions, there can only be one x-intercept, or there can be no x-intercept. However, you cannot have multiple x-intercepts since this is a line and will only cross through one time, and it will not turn back and cross again. The x-intercept is written as a number, 0, because it is when the y value is 0. The next vocab is our now next. This is an ordered list of numbers defined by a starting value and a rule. Now is used to find the next value. So it would be your recursive form of what do we have now, and using our slope, how do we find the next number in the set of numbers. So it is just a pattern of numbers. We have three linear forms that we're going to look at. We have standard form, slope-intercept form, and point-slope form. All three forms are forms to do the exact same equation. They just look different because they give you different information from the forms themselves. So the main form we will focus on is going to be the slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is you're given the slope and you have the y-intercept. This is the main form we will utilize. So it's where m is the slope and 0, b is the y-intercept. Please understand that the slope is only the coefficient of the x. It is not the x. The b is the value of the y-intercept, and you should always write it as a coordinate. The other two forms are standard form and point slope form. Standard form actually tell you or help you find the x-intercept and the y-intercept of your function. So a, b, and c will be constants, meaning they will be actual numbers, and a must be greater than 0 here. So if it is negative, you would manipulate this so that a is positive. We also want to make sure that these are all integers and not fractions, if at all possible. So standard form is useful to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. You can find these by finding the x-intercept is when the y value is 0, so we would make the y 0, and we would solve for x. If we wanted to find the y-intercept, we need the x value to be 0. So this x would be 0, which would turn this to 0, and then we would solve for y, and we'd have the y-intercept. Point slope form is very similar to slope-intercept form, and it's still using your slope and a point. Slope-intercept form is using the slope and a specific point called the y-intercept, but this is used for any point on the graph that you want to use. This is also utilized in transformations if we want to use the notation to move the graph up, down, left, right. Point slope is still where m is the slope. It is still the coefficient. And x sub 1 comma y sub 1 is a point on the line. This could be your y-intercept coordinate, or it could be any coordinate that's on the line. And you would still be able to manipulate any of these equations into slope-intercept, or to standard form, or to point slope form. All three of these forms can give you the exact same graph. We will focus mainly on slope-intercept form because that will give you the slope, so you can find the rate of change, and also it'll give you the y-intercept so that you can graph it, and then you can move from the y-intercept up, down, left, right until you get to the next coordinates.